I'm grateful I'm not 56 and trying. I'm looking straight at you, Shannon.
Get it together, Shannon.
Get it together.
Find your woman.
Find you someone. She said, homegirl said, get you an old one.
Leave
That's
the
gonna love you
20s,
old.
30s. Leave it alone. Then she said, what did you hear that man say? On this good phone, look in the camera. Shannon, look at your camera.
And say it.
What did he say?
What did he say? I need you to say it. She's straight auntie, uncle.
Auntie him. And I'm like, I know they probably about what, like 2 years apart?
Yeah, they in that same, but she sure did auntie him.
She big sister him. She big sistered him.
She did.
Yeah.
And it was necessary. And it was,
Yeah.
I think Shannon appreciated it because it wasn't like, at first I was kind of like, ooh.
No, me too. I think at first he was like, how do I maneuver this?
Yeah.
Because most times it's a man that he can, chuckle with, and
right.
He
gonna be like, come on, man. And the man will be like, let him slide. But Auntie Mo was not letting him slide. Like, no, boo-boo.
Exactly.
I sent you that camera. You heard it verbatim what he said.
She said, you look at yours, I'm gonna look at mine. Now, what did he say?
No, it was a great interview. I mean, I think there were a couple times where you could tell Shannon was a little bit trying to find his words a little bit because Monique just has that presence, that aura. That Black woman, I'm standing in my power,
aura, a queen.
And I appreciate
that. Queen in front of you.
Right. I also love too that she's just such a great storyteller. So you're just gonna like hear and get like not just the overarching what happened, but the details.
Yeah.
The difference between I love that number one, she took up where Cat Williams left off and baby tied it up with a bow. But I also
with a nice classy bow.
right, with a poised bow. I also love the fact that she gave us, it wasn't just comedic. She gave us like that real, this is how I feel. I'm coming to y'all with the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. But it was also in a way that was, you knew she meant business. She was standing on business. And that's the kind of energy that I love that comes from her.
And I loved her reminder. She said, listen, y'all gave me the label of auntie. I didn't come out here and say I'm y'all's auntie. She said, y'all gave me that. She said, and I take that with pride. Like, that's an honor. So as your auntie, I'm letting you know what the truth is, what the deal is, who these folks really are. Because, back in the day, your mom, your aunt, they would look at your friends and be like, those ain't your friends.
Those are not your friends. Right.
Oh, ma'am. That's what she was doing. These are not my friends. How they treated me is wrong. And I'm going to tell you how. And then it's up to you to take that information and do with it what you will, you know?
And there was a good moment for her and Shannon where she was like, is he your friend? If he's your friend, how are you going to address him if you know that he's wrong in something? If he's standing in something and he's wrong in it, what are you going to do?
But you know what? I felt checked in that because I was like,
yeah,
it'd be some times that my friends, have come to me and I'm
slide.
Like, girl, with you, whatever.
That's my friend. And she like, no, baby, if you really love your friend, like you can check them in love,
Exactly.
You can call them to the carpet and say, exactly. No, I want you. I see better in you and for you. So I like that. I like that that segment.
And I could tell by the end of that Shannon felt like, okay, she sees what's best for me.
Yeah.
Because when he was like, well, I ain't gonna be able to get nobody else to come up on this she was like, oh no, yeah, you will. She was like, invite them. Just ask them. They coming. Right, they're coming. Just ask. If they're smart, they're coming. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, yes, I feel okay, Oprah ain't coming.
No, Oprah's not.
Tyler Perry's probably not coming. But if I'm somebody like, if I'm like
I can maybe see Tyler Perry at some point coming. I
could strain and squint and see it. I could squint and see it.
I could see it.
I'll give you that. Now, DL.
I mean, they call him on the phone.
True.
A whole recording. I could see him coming.
DL, he had all his stuff to say. I could see him coming. I could see Steve maybe recircling back because the thing is, I feel like sometimes people get to a level where they get comfortable and they feel like I don't have to respond to anybody else ever again because I put my dues in.
Right.
I'm here now. I don't need to. But that's where, if you just pay attention to the times, if you have a smart team and you're paying attention to the times, right? Like it's all about exposure. It's all about airing it out and putting it out there.
Yeah.
What I would do as your team is say, it doesn't have to be a long response, but something, a quick response, because people are turning like that. Cancel culture is here to stay, like at least for a good decade.
Well,
People
I
will be
think what we
like,
know about cancel culture is you can't cancel somebody. You really can't.
people will be like,
it might set you back, but if it's for you, if it
well,
the
yeah,
thing
but I'm
with
saying
these,
like cancel
the
culture,
thing
we
with these
know it's not
individuals,
permanent.
yeah, but the thing with these individuals is because they're moving funny, you know, it appears as if they're moving funny. Cancel culture could very well, you know, put them down for a while.
Right. Nothing's
But
permanent, but cancel
yeah,
culture is, because it's being driven by people that have a short attention span.
yeah.
So nothing's permanent, but it
Well,
could be a short-term repercussion of, you've lost the love of the consumer, you've lost the love of the viewers, of your audience. And so now you have to gain them back.
yeah,
Whereas you might not have to go through that if you just quickly respond.
yeah. Well, my point being is some of these folks are like, you can't cancel me, so I'm not responding.
But that's what I was saying in the beginning. Like they feel like they're at such a level
Yeah,
where
yeah.
it can't be done to them. But I'm saying don't take that level or your position for granted and underestimate the audience, because the
You would
audience
hope
could be like,
so. That's the hope. Like, you know, that is the hope, but we'll see how that works out. Um, Thinking about the interview itself and like the points that were raised, I like how she's very strategic as well as Kat. And I like how she had certain people and certain points she needed to make, and she like hit on, you know, certain specific people. So we knew we were gonna hear about Tyler, Oprah,
Lee Daniels,
and Lee Daniels. What we didn't know was we was gonna get, you know, Tiffany
Kevin
Haddish,
Hart.
Kevin Hart, you know, some of those stories.
And I'm surprised Shannon was like, dang, they catch a strays. Like he said, we can't, like
Right.
Tiffany and Kevin catch a strays. Like,
Right.
but so Tiffany, I mean, Tiffany Haddish to me, I don't know if I would have, if I would have had that much angst. I don't even feel like she does, but I just don't know if I would have included her in who I need to respond to. But to your point about storytelling, it was a compelling story to
Yeah.
further support her claims of a lot
And
of
I
these
think
people
that's
ain't
what it
right,
was.
y'all.
Yeah.
Now Kevin, I
Think
was
that's what
like,
it
now
was.
what Kevin got to do with this?
Yeah.
You know, and I'm kind of 50-50 on Kevin, because he did try, you know, he sent her some dollars when she needed it, right? Here's a check for you and your family, however you need to use it. They paid him
Yeah.
back. So it's like with Kevin, you know, it's, I don't know, like he helped you out, but then he wanted to step back, you know?
Yeah. The points I think that were that I gleaned from both of those situations. So with Tiffany Haddish, Monique read her for filth, like just read her. And sometimes I think so when you're taking that high road, it's hard to always take the high road. So that was her chance to,
Cut it
without
big.
going too hard and too petty, give a little stick. You know what I mean? Like,
Like
I mean,
not you
she
out here
really was
grooming kids,
basically
girl.
right. She basically was like, how are you going to come for me? Like, you would hope that you would have somebody by your side the way my husband is by my side. The way, you know, in talking about him and saying, you know, I wouldn't want him to handle my business. You would hope you would have a support system that's going to be there, that's going to ride for you, that's going to stand 10 toes down in the same integrity lane that you're going on. So I appreciate that Mo addressed it. And she got her little dig, and I'm not
Yeah.
mad at it.
And understand, like, this is not about, you know, this is not about Tiffany's relationship status. It's not about, you know, it's really just
No,
about
no,
you don't it looks like you don't have someone in your corner that's really
right.
there to pull you back when you need to pull back,
To hold you accountable.
and right in those moments where you need to be held accountable and need to be reminded and grounded and you know,
Yeah.
into real world.
Yeah. To Monique's credit, she brought up what Tiffany said, and her rebuttal was it wasn't about having a man, it was about having a support system. Like
Yeah.
you said, it's about having someone who really is not a yes man in your corner. Because the moves you're making, you
Ooh,
know,
girl.
the allegations that are coming out, the charges that you're facing, they ain't that good.
But it looked like Tiffany, okay, tangent. it looked like Tiffany been sliding for a bit. She been sliding for a bit, like
Yeah.
just the antics, her composure, how she shows
Mm-hmm.
up to interviews, how she carries herself. It's like I think you need some help, you know?
Yeah.
I think she needs some
I
help.
can see that. Well,
Yeah.
maybe this interview was her wake up call. With Kevin though, I do like the fact that with Monique, you're always going to get, we're going to get the raw truth as she sees it,
Mm-hmm.
but you're always going to get from her. She's not going to hold back on the good side as well
Mm-hmm.
as the bad.
Mm-hmm.
So I appreciate that she was able to say, look, I was financially in a position where I needed help. And that brother Kevin, he came through. So I have nothing bad to say on that side of
On
things.
that
I
side, yeah.
appreciate what he did. But, and however, this is what happened,
And that makes us lean into it more and into the authenticity. It appears to be genuine. It appears to be like she might be telling the truth
Mm-hmm.
because us, like don't tell my business, like especially around finances in the black household. Don't go out them streets and tell people like what's going on behind
Right.
closed doors. So,
I don't know what's in my throat, child. I'm over here like trying to hold it in.
Go get a glass of. Tell me to bring you a glass of water, girl.
I need one. Like, how you try to hold it in and
Hey,
it get
Keith.
worse. Anyway,
I'm trying to talk above it, like.
I had to acknowledge it because you're looking at me. You were looking at me like, get it together. Anyway, yeah. That auntie, like, don't be telling my business.
Don't.
So I appreciate
She
her
told it. Right.
telling
Right.
the whole truth.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And
But
when it comes to Oprah, Tyler Perry, and Lee Daniels, we've all heard the story. Like we know what happened from her point of view, her vantage point. What we know about Monique is she's going to come with receipts, invoices, tracking numbers, audio, video, like all of it. You know what I mean? So it doesn't make sense to me that they can at least as evolved adults say, hey, you know what? I was wrong. And what can I do to make it right? It doesn't take much because she's saying it doesn't take much. It's a public apology because y'all were very public in how y'all treated me. And it led to me being blackballed, allegedly. But I mean,
missing out on possible opportunities,
right,
like
missing out on opportunities. So why can't you just say, look, I overstepped a little bit and I'm wrong? Like with Tyler, for instance, she never really worked with him. Now he was connected to the
leave.
Precious project,
Right.
but he didn't have any, and he admitted on the audio that has been circulating, and it appears to be his voice, so I'll just say that. But it appears as if he's admitting that we didn't have any real interaction. So to say that you are difficult shouldn't have never come out of my mouth. Like,
so why would it? Why?
I think when you're tied to people, like when you're tied to, if you're a best friend, you would think that you're a little bit more mature, right? In that if your best friend doesn't like someone, you're not going to take the stance that I don't like them. Now, you might not rock with them, you might not talk to them, but why speak on who they are?
That's the part.
I've never had experience.
Exactly. I don't need to speak on it because
right.
you know how I rock for you and my and the girls.
Yeah. So it's simply I don't rock with that person because my friend
or
doesn't
say
like
nothing.
But in a business atmosphere, you don't say anything because you don't have anything to go on other than what your friend said.
Right. Now, what I will say is I do feel like the whole Lee Daniel Monique thing, I could see on his side where he was like, look, friend, press comes with it.
Friend.
I got $55,000 to give you.
Yeah.
Can you please help a brother out? So I could see from his vantage point why he might feel hurt that she didn't at least, do a little bit more press to get the movie, the word about the movie out there.
But she did. That's the thing though. So she did. So if I think if Lee Daniels as her friend would have said, because she said $55,000, I'm
not complaining.
I'm not mad at that. if Lee Daniels would have said, hey, I need you to help me get this movie sold. And if it's sold, if you could help me with promotion, I would greatly appreciate it, because then it'll make the movie even bigger and it'll help me as a director. If he said that, I think she would have been like, okay, friend, I got you. But
and
if he said that prior to, because they tried to get her to go to Cannes after she had done all the promotion she was obligated to do. They tried to get her then after all of it was said and done, after he had sold the movie. So it's not even under his production company anymore. It's with another company. That company is now saying, you need to go to Cannes. And they're all calling her like, please go. And she's like, I don't have the application. Now, if Lee would have said, I need you to do this like prior to, before she had all, before she had her break with her family, her kids, she probably would have been like, okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
again, I don't know what Lee said, when he said it, how he said it, but based on Mo's account, it just seems like maybe he didn't take it, down that path and really like set it up in a way where it's like, look, like you said, like, can we do it this way?
Yeah, we've seen the stance that they've taken. They probably came at her like, you need to go,
Well, Lionsgate absolutely did. Like, Lionsgate was absolutely like, yeah, you need to go.
Yeah, and I feel like Lee Daniels was on that phone like, please, please go.
How you think Tyler got into it? Tyler, he probably called Tyler up, or somebody pulled Tyler into like, can you please talk to Monique? Yeah. Can you please ask her? Maybe she'll do it since it's coming from you.
Child,
Oprah, can you please tell the girl?
Right. I was stuck on Mo talking about, I walked into the room and Tyler said, how do you get from being homeless to that? That's my question.
If he was homeless, child.
How does your...
If he was homeless. Because it ain't giving
homeless to that.
It ain't giving homeless. I'm sorry. You and I have come from a struggle. Yeah. We know what it's like. Do you think if you have, I'm just gonna say 100 million in your account, that it's gonna change you to that degree where you're like, are you serious? Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Now, this is all allegations. This is what Auntie Mo said.
Auntie Mo said.
And we riding with Auntie Mo. But remember, this is still just her side. We don't know.
This is very true. But that's the thing. When this is the dangerous part about not saying anything. Yeah. And some people, because I am low key one of those people sometimes where I'm not gonna say anything. Girl, interpret it how you interpret it. Yeah. Take what you want to take. I don't care. So if that's their position, cool. But that's the other side. Like, you leave it open for us. Yeah. To interpret how we interpret it.
All I know is we still trying to figure out what happened in that elevator, and Beyonce ain't gonna ever talk about it.
So what happened was Solange caught him on some, on some grimy. Right.
We all gonna roll with our accounts, and Beyonce don't care. So there are people out there who really just have. I'm thankful. I actually love that Beyonce is so at a place where she really don't address it, because I don't think I could be that. I don't think I could be that removed from it. I just don't. I feel like I would have to like do a little something,
Make a statement.
Now, also too, I'll say this. She has a team, and she's strategic in how she puts stuff out maybe in the world, like we don't know what she's actually doing to address it,
Sure. It's just not going. It doesn't need to come out of her mouth. No, she makes so much money. Why should she have to? Unless she wants to. Right. If she's paying people to, y'all handle it. So I want to be out there on that one.
I'm thinking about the interview. Steve already came to the podcast. Do them again.
Okay. That's where I'm at with it. That's where I'm at with it. I really could care less for what Oprah coming, because she's gonna give us her Oprah,
real polished, politically correct. She's not gonna really.
Tyler gonna come up there and give us his, do good for the people. Okay. Right. I need Steve back in that room. Right. I want to hear what Steve got to say.
He'll forget.
Okay. A little slip. It'll be just a little slip, and that's all we need to take it.
That's all we need. Yeah, for sure. I'm trying to think. There were a lot of subtly funny, because I think with Cat, he came out swinging.
Yeah.
And like his one-liners are on another level,
Oh,
right? But Mo
genius.
was funny too. Like she really was
She,
like,
she was funny
take
when
a
she said,
sip.
let that liquor use you." Shit.
Right. Sip again. Let that liquor use you.
Now, ladies, all you need is one.
Right.
All you need is one. And I heard that loud and
One.
clear. One
And
sip.
I wholeheartedly believe it, because she probably was on that 151 or something.
She said,
You know?
all you need is one when you sit on this
Yeah.
couch.
Yeah.
But
But she,
I will say, like randomly, when she
yeah.
said no, I meant what I said about the bonnets. I was
Yeah.
like,
I was like, come on, Auntie.
come on, nothing. I'm like, thank you, Auntie.
No.
I gotta be honest.
That's the one thing I don't for her. Well, not the one thing. That's one of the things I don't agree with. I'm tired of that mentality where we care what other people think,
I don't even,
or
but see, that's this. I think that is one lane, but I think there's other lanes. And if you hear her lane, it's not about what other people think.
we have been policed so much, right? And our bodies have been policed to the point where I don't like I need people to just let people be for their own sanity. Like we don't know if this is a single mother who, remember when mommy used to lay our clothes out after school because we had a flight to catch and we had to get to the airport. Like we don't know what the girl, the person that she saw with a bonnet on her head was going through that day. Like, leave us alone about the bonnets. I'm sorry, I can't get with that one.
Yeah,
I just can't.
we got to agree to disagree. I think there's something about presence, and I will say, I do think a lot of women are not present in their presence and who they are and who they are in the world. They're not. I don't. A lot of women, Black women, are not grounded in the value they bring in this world. When you're not grounded in the value you bring and how you see your own self, I do feel like it can show up in certain ways, like how I personally see women leave their household. I'm not saying you got to be face done, but I'm not saying any of that. But I do think that because we've been beaten down, because we go through so much, we, and understandably so, we have forgotten, I can't speak for all women, but a lot of women have forgotten the value that they bring to this world. And how you represent yourself in the world does mirror sometimes, a lot of times, how you feel about yourself internally. So that's what I'll say.
It may, but
It has to be inward outward. I do think that.
I think that people sometimes place too much value on the external, and some people who actually know their value understand that I don't care what your perception of me is. I'm carrying myself the way I carry myself because this is how I feel comfortable today. And this is what is getting me through today. So I do see what you're saying, but I also think that there is a counter thought to that. For me, anyway, if I don't place value on, my value is on my integrity, my character, the way I walk, my intelligence, my love for God, my love for family. So if I'm coming out into the world and it doesn't please you, then oh well. And that's how some people see it.
I mean, everybody has a right to see how they want to see it. Would
Yeah.
you go out in a bonnet?
I wouldn't go out in a bonnet, but I've gone out in a scarf. So have you?
With a
if,
hat on?
yeah, but if Auntie Mo might be like, girl, why you got that scarf on? You know? She saw somebody in a bonnet that day, but what's to say she didn't see somebody? It would what why it could have been somebody with a hat on and a scarf under it. It could have been somebody with some sweats on. You just like, she's using a bonnet because for her that's what it was, but it could be anything. Like people, for me, I'm just saying she's policing other people and how they present to the world. Just worry about yourself, boo. I hear what you're saying. You're trying to call
I
people
don't
high,
think she's policing.
but
I think
for
she's trying to remind.
okay, however she thinks it's coming across, it feels as if, because it was a bit judgmental in my perspective. It wasn't like I, if she really cared, talk to the girl. Like you saw her, why post about it? You know, like, well, I don't know. I just feel like
And maybe she did talk to the girl.
Maybe, but why post about it?
Well, if you have, if you have a platform, if you feel like you can wide reach,
How
by
many people did
posting,
she see with
by
a
talking
bonnet?
about it, and we're still talking about it today. So maybe she felt like, okay, I'm also going to speak up and say something, just to make this a part of the conversation, and to steer in her mind to steer women back to, you know, showing up in a manner that shows internally you value you, and that mirrors that externally.
Yeah, I think for me the approach is more of a like, ladies, let's show up, let's, self-care, let's get our hair done, let's come together, let's come out into the world. And I don't know that you have to specifically speak on bonnets, because number one, we are not a community that's exempt from wearing protective stuff with our hair. But for whatever reason, when Black people are seen with bonnets or scarves, or I just feel like it's always us that has to worry about what we look like and how we present. And I'm tired of that. That's
Well, I
all.
mean, okay, the last thing I'll say is I think that again, we forget our impact. Like, I feel like people are going to always talk about us. They cannot talk about us. We are the forerunners. We are the initiators. We are the first and the last. Like,
So
that's
if that
us. And
remains to be
so I
true,
feel like when your light is that bright, it's gonna shine and people are gonna talk about it.
right? So if that remains to be true, if they're going to talk about us regardless, why do you care
But that's the thing.
how I'm coming out in a
If
bonnet?
if that's the perspective that you are basing it on, how other people see you, how outsiders see you. The last thing I'm gonna get off of this. I see how young girls show up to school, and it seems that they are not getting the guidance in hygiene, in taking care of themselves,
That's what you
and
say.
showing up in a way that shows that you value yourself, right?
That's what you
I
say.
see third and
I
fourth graders
receive
coming
that.
to school in bonnets, like, bonnets, and like I see it visually. I see it. And when
Okay.
I look at it, I don't just look at it and say, "Oh my God." Like, I look at it and I can see all of it that embodies not just a bonnet, but everything that little girl, that young woman seems to be carrying or not carrying within herself.
Okay. Well, I think you approached it at the beginning before the bonnet. That's where you cut it off. Like, I see you. I see what you're carrying. It seems as if there might be, some hygiene issues or things that you should be
Grooming,
addressing.
yeah.
But I don't know. I just think when you get to the specifics and the details about how people are showing up, that's when you lose me. That's all.
Yeah. Girl, we got 4 minutes in.
Right. One thing I will say, D.L. Hughley's response. I mean, I am glad that someone finally
Somebody, yeah.
responded with a straightforward, this person is lying.
Yeah.
Now, the content was kind of funny to me because it was like, I mean, she called me or we did talk. I called her, we did talk, like whatever it was, but it was like, so where's the lie? Now when you drill down on it, he's basically saying that he pulled it out of the kindness of his heart, and but I don't really see where she lied.
Well, and then we don't have to go down the fat route. We don't have to. And I think she even said this on in Shannon's show, where she was like, yeah, we had a disagreement, and he wanted to start name calling, and he did the exact same thing.
Yeah, he
And
validated what
you're
she
a
said.
man
Yeah,
speaking about. I don't know if they're the same age. I was gonna say older women, but either way, she's a woman of a certain
speaking about
age,
a black woman.
of a certain status,
Yeah,
of a certain wisdom level. Like, we don't have to get to name calling. Like, just tell us the situation, what happened, y'all disagreed, and that's it. Because to me, he looks silly when it gets to name calling. When it
yeah,
gets to, okay, well, that's why her son don't like her, because like, it's just
yeah,
like, I don't know.
yeah. It was kind of all over the place, and like I said, it landed flat for me. But this was probably
At least he said something.
one of the first responses where I saw somebody immediately address it.
Yeah,
Now I
yeah.
think it's very telling how people have responded to Kat versus Monique, and that's all I'll say on that topic. It was also funny that Shannon felt he was he had a little tough time saying you're a fat black woman.
He did. He was like, you know,
And
you're
Mo's
heavy.
like, just say it, brother.
But wait, he was like, you're heavy. You're dark. She's like, now you're not gonna say this like Mr. in
Right.
Color Purple. No, that's what you're not gonna do. Come on, should just say, you know, you're a beautiful, big, you know, black.
Right. But when he started to say it, he kept saying it, and it was like, okay, brother, I need you to finesse the way you say it, like
Finesse it.
curvy, like. Anyway,
because we know that she owns who she is at this point, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be honest, Monique to me is beautiful. Like
she is.
I think she is a gorgeous woman. So
that glow, the gray,
yeah, like the gray, like
Auntie came poised, classy, like she came cute.
Yeah,
you know,
she was
ready.
To me.
Her boots, she had her boots on.
the not the knee highs, not the knee highs.
Knee highs, I mean, yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, I think overall, I'm extremely excited about what Club Shay Shay is doing.
I love it.
It's driving, you know, so much interest in the podcast world. So I'm excited about it.
It's so disruptive. I think that he's just been divinely guided into a lane where he's there to facilitate the disruption, not judge it, right? Like not have his judgments placed in it, but to be there to allow people to come and say, look, I'm about to air something out.
Right.
So who you got next, Uncle Shannon? Because
right. And thank God he didn't say space and opportunity to skip. He just left. He left and let
that white man across the table because you would have, it wouldn't have been good.
Right.
But Monique said we all wanted to reach across that table. We wanted you to reach across that table. Right. I'm glad he didn't know.
Yeah. He did the right thing. But anyway, great interview. Appreciate y'all for joining. Motha Knows on Instagram, Motha_knows on TikTok and YouTube, Motha Knows Co. We'll see y'all when we see you.
See you when we see y'all. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Love y'all.